Hello, my name is Olivia. I'm known as Olivia K on Facebook, Ollie K on Instagram, and WarmYam9000 on Reddit. I cover nursing related topics. That's what I'll be for your next attempt for the NCLEX, whether it's RN or LPN. I have playlists for fundamental stuff that can help you for nursing, for the NCLEX or nursing school, and honestly, some of those videos need to be a little updated anyway, so I'm going to work on that once I finish this series with the maternity newborn. I have a playlist for pharmacology, most popular one, I think, because most people need help with pharmacology. I also have a playlist for MedSurge, which we are comparing to two diagnoses. That's going to help you, especially when you're doing your case studies. It's important to know and grasp the information from each diagnoses and whatnot. It's going to help you with definitely thinking about like using your nursing judgment, like critical thinking and whatnot. So it's going to be very helpful for you. If you get bored by nursing related stuff, I go over documentaries, and I just recently went over maternal instincts, which I kind of need a break from going over documentaries because I've been going over them over and over every week, and I like to move on and do my roots, like go back to my roots, like talking about reality TV shows, which I will talk about the ultimatum this week. I'm excited, looking forward, because there's a new episode that's starting next week, if I'm not mistaken. I cannot wait. Oh my god, I missed that show. I like it even more than Love is Blind. So speaking of Love is Blind, there is a playlist of my reaction on that as well. I do need to go back to that. I think most people did like watching my reality TV stuff. I like to get right back into it if I can. I also cover reality, yes. I cover opinion pieces that people want to hear. So if there's any topic you want me to talk about, even though I do like true crime, but I'm not really a true crime channel, more so like a nursing tutoring channel or anything. We can talk about anything you want. It doesn't matter. I don't care. So just not politics, of course. I like to leave out my page. It's just mostly nursing or anything fun that we can talk about. So just let me know and leave in the comments or message me in any of my platforms, okay? So today I'm going to go over GTPAL and also understanding how to calculate pregnancy. I know it's very basic and it's good to know, but that's the second thing I want to do before I get into the different symptoms of pregnancies of each trimester, okay? So it's important for you to know, especially if you're doing case studies, like I mentioned in an example, like if you're doing case study and they're mentioning Gravida, TP, something, and then etc. something. Say this patient is Gravida 4, T term maybe 4. So you would know that's a pregnancy patient, that's a prenatal patient, right? So it's important to know how far along she is or what her history is, because that way you'll know, okay, how are we taking care of this patient and whatnot, or gives me a background or an idea of what she's at risk for. So which is very important to know. So you may see these when they God, I can't speak sometimes. When they mention the GTPAL, which is why I like to also call it, it's going to help you understand the status of the pregnancy and questions and like what risks they carry into the pregnancy. Okay, so let's break this down. I call it GTPAL. Gravida, term, which includes the current pregnancy. Preterm, how many babies she carried before term, right? Before full term. Abortion. So don't just think abortion because she chooses to abort the baby. No, that could also mean miscarriage. So we're going to talk about some of that soon, okay? And then how many living children she has. So a helpful tip I have for you is that twins do count as one pregnancy for Gravida, because that's basically the pregnancy, and that's one birth for term or preterm, but it will count for 2 children living. So I know it sounds very confusing, right? So I know it's tough for me to explain it to you, but gravitas basically means just one pregnancy. Okay? So, here's an example of a GTPAL problem. The woman currently is pregnant. This is what the history shows, right? So she has one term birth, which is 39 weeks. So almost 40 weeks, right? That's how long pregnancy is. One miscarriage at 12 weeks. And what would that be? Okay? So gravida would be the pregnancy, right? And then one term baby, one full term baby. Preterm, it doesn't indicate anywhere where I said there's a baby that was born preterm. Abort, the woman miscarried at 12 weeks for one pregnancy. There's one living child. So the answer would be G3, gravida 3. Okay. Term 1, one term baby. P would be O, because nothing's mentioned with the preterm. A would be 1 because she had one miscarriage, and one living child because that's one term birth, so the child lived. So this is a further breakdown to see if this will make sense to you. I know this was kind of tough for me as too when I was doing this. So gravida 3, term pregnancy. So that's one, right? That's one living child. Miscarriage, the baby she lost, right? Then she's currently pregnant, so that's 3 pregnancies. I hope that makes sense. T, term, the one living child, that was a full term, okay? Because she gave birth to that baby that went through the full term, under 40 weeks. Preterm, there's none of that. Abortion, that's a miscarriage, and then the one living child. Again, we're going to refer to that one child, right? That one pregnancy that she carried full term, okay? That baby lived. So next example, and I'm probably going to show some examples, probably provide links for examples and stuff like that. This woman's not pregnant at all, okay? But this is the history. 2 term births, 1 preterm, 2 miscarriages. What do you think that is? Okay, so I'll tell you the answer. G5, T2, P1, A2, L3. So I'll tell you why that is. So 2 term baby. So there's 2. So that's going to tell you 2 term would be 2 of the babies are living, 1 preterm. So preterm meaning this was before, this is a premature baby. She gave birth to that baby. It wasn't a full term, okay? So remember, actually, no, I didn't get to that part yet. So age of viability, which we're going to talk about in the next video. So this is a preterm baby. This is before the 40 weeks. Actually, before, maybe the 38 weeks. So anything 38 or less would be considered preterm. Okay. We'll check that up again. 2 miscarriages. 2. So she lost 2 babies. Then the 3 living children. Okay, so I want to break this down again. So she's been pregnant 5 times. This is going to be the further breakdown. 2 term babies, 2 children that was born the full 40, almost 40 weeks, if that makes sense, okay? Preterm, 1 preterm, and that's the premature baby. That's 3 living children. Abortion, A, because 2 miscarriages. And then again, going back to what we said. So here's why I need you to pay attention to the term and the preterm. Because that basically will tell you how many children are living, okay? So that you do the math. I hope that makes sense. And I'll actually send you some leave some links for you to understand as well. So let's briefly go over the Naegele rule. And to do that, you want to calculate the due date. You're going to take the first day of the last menstrual period. So if the woman's saying, because pregnancy is usually 4 to 5 days. So say she has her period like around October 1st, and it lasts till October 6th. You want to count October 1st because that's when she first had the period. So October 1st, subtract 3 months. This is October, right? So September, August, July. And you're going to add 7 days. Okay? So that would be July 8th. Okay? Let me tell you an example right now. The last menstrual period a woman reports is August 10, 2025. So July, June, May. And we said the 10th, right? You add 7 days, 17. So her estimated due date is going to be May 17, 2026. Let me give you another example. Okay? Last missed period, December 15th. All right? November, October, September. So you're going back 3 months. Okay, and we set the 15th, right? You're going to add 7 days. And you know what the estimated date would be? September 22nd. It's her due date. Alright? So watch this video over again. And I'm actually going to give you two links, okay? SimpleNursing.com with the GTPAL assessment. And you can practice on those. And then there's Registered Nursing RN that has practice GTPAL nursing questions. So that way you want to get that practice and understand it, because I know it's a lot. It was hard for me, especially with the GTPAL, but the Naegele will be easy. So this is important for nursing students, LPNs, or especially RNs to know, because you want to know the estimated due date and when you're doing your assessments, and report that to the provider in case there's any sort of complications. Anyway, I will be covering the Ultimatum Season 1 this week. I am so excited because the new season's coming out in like I said, next week, and I'm looking forward to watching it. All right, take care and have a good night. Bye.